we try to make sense of Wolverine claws. This is the Kitsune-Klan, a group of sword enthusiasts who like cosplay, reenactment, and historical martial arts. If you have similar interests, feel welcomed. This will be a tough one for several reasons. Point 1: Wolverine claws made from steel are illegal in Germany, so I can only use toys for experimenting with them. Second, Shadiversity and some others have already shown the problems with the claws. One of them being that if you step with them, then the individual blades will be pushed apart and they can get easily stuck. It also means you cannot push too deep without a lot of force. Some people have suggested that hitting with several claws would multiply the damage. In fact, only the force that was available is distributed over more points, so in fact the individual damage is reduced. I think we can explain that with the superhero idea, that the damage done to an opponent is not deadly, but just enough. If it would be about penetrating deeply, we can look at animals and see that if it's about penetration, a single or two counteracting structures are the ideal arrangement. The same accounts for slicing. If I really want to slice with a claw-like thing, like this karambit or this claw knife, then I take a single one blade, and not three, because it's distributing the force. So is there any advantage of force distribution to three structures? If we look at defensive actions, if we take one Wolverine claw, it would probably bend under pressure. But if it's distributed over three, it can withstand. Also, the rather massive nature of the claws goes in this direction. This is all reminiscent of the Tekagi, a Japanese weapon used against swords. Of course, Tekagi are somehow ninja associated, and you can look up the entire ninja controversy on Anthony Cummins' channel. Here we just are interested in the use. And usually ninja, or ninjutsu as it was formerly called, is somehow connected to the so-called Gyokko Ryu. We therefore explore some of their techniques here and then look how this could be related to Wolverine's claws. There are two central katas in Gyokko Ryu. There's the Sanshin no kata and the Kion Happo. We have combined both here to give you a fast overview of some of the basic movements. In general, there are some wide stances called kamae. We will come to that in a bit more detail in a moment. And also long range movements concerning evasion, going in, and then also a lot of grappling, but not usually on the ground, just up when standing. The Sanshin no kata refers to the 5 elements in Japanese tradition. 4 of the elements are equal to the usually 4 angles that we know from Filipino martial arts. We will have a separate video dealing with this type of similarity. More importantly, most of these techniques can be understood as a sequence through different kamae, and so we come here now to the point of kamae. Basically, they are combinations of 4 arm positions that we can perform: a low one, 2 middle one, and 1 high. If both arms are in a low position, we have a shizentai or hira no kamae. If they are in the outer middle position, we have hira ichimonji no kamae. In the middle position inwards, we have jumonji no kamae. And in the upper position, we have hoko no kamae. Now we combine different positions. Low and middle outer gives us sanshin no kamae. Middle inner and middle outer gives us ichimonji no kamae. Upper and middle outer gives us doko no kamae. Upper and lower arm position combine to kosei no kamae. Middle inner and upper position combine to jodan uke. And middle inner and lower position combine to gedan uke. Also, there's a variation of the Ichimonji no Kamae that we need for some instances that you can find in older books. Before we finally come to the application, it's interesting that all these kamae are interconnected and can be combined from just 4 basic positions, but that will be have to dealt elsewhere in more detail. We will start by simply using some of the kamae, so going from shizentai into the kamae, and then come to the more complex aspects. The claws can be used in different ways here. They can stop the attack by inflicting pain, or they can be used to really stop the incoming force, distributing it over more than one of the claws. Stopping the attack by inflicting pain reminds of the Tekagi, and indeed Tekokagi are considered by some as special types of Tekagi. Also, distributing the force over 3 claws instead of 1 when striking could make sense in this interpretation, as it would prohibit that the claws become embedded too deep into the opponent's flesh and cannot be retracted easily. In universe-wise, there's a story where Wolverine, together with Kitty Pryde, travel to Japan and fight a samurai/ninja type villain, indicating in some of the fight scenes that Wolverine is knowledgeable about martial arts, at least similar or comparable to Gyokko. Does it make the claws effective weapons? Yeah, not so really. They are still too long, as has been pointed out by some, and it still feels awkward. So what to do with it? We can go back to the Tekokagi, and also, as for Tekagi, we could combine a Tekokagi with a sword. When this toy here is mounted on my arm, it feels much better and it's easier to use it for a type of deflection, as it is implicated for the Tekokagi. But to be honest, I would go again for the strategy from the Tekagi, using the sword for the real protection, the Tekokagi or Wolverine Claw substitute here for inflicting pain, and combine these whenever dealing with the attack. Hence the suggestion for Wolverine, get a sword. In combination with the claws, this is really effective and can immediately disarm an opponent. Even if you just hold the sword with 2 hands and you have the claws on the left hand, you can easily make use of the claws after binding. I already said it's a tough one. The Wolverine claws are at best a supportive weapon, not a good main weapon. Hope we could inspire you. See you around next time.